Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Man of 1,004 Bumps. This is a bit of a special episode. Obviously last week was the debut and the first match. And so we didn't have a second training last week. We had sort of the day off. I was on holiday, so I wasn't able to film an episode. But now we're back at training again. We had a review session today, so we went over all the matches. It was a lot of fun. We sat down, we watched the entire event, and went through all the matches and sort of got some tips on things we can definitely work on for our next match and things like that. I'll start by doing a bit of a review. A lot of people have spoken about the event itself. A lot of people, in terms of feedback, was very positive. The event went really well. We had a crowd of about 140 people, according to reports, which is pretty impressive because leading up to the event, it didn't seem like we were going to get that many. And yeah, so first match was interesting. A lot of people expected a lot more out of the match. Even through all the trainings we did, I've still got a lot to work on in terms of fitness to get to the level needed to be in a match. I mean, we only had sort of a 8 to 10 minute match, and that's pretty short, and I was absolutely gone. I was tired from the start of the match just because the amount of times I went through the fight before I got into the ring and actually went through it. It was also really, really hot at the moment. That combined with long tights and long sleeves, probably not the best idea. I need to start thinking of ways of maybe having more summer-friendly gear. But aside from that, I've gone through now 2 different views of the match, and it was good to get some feedback on it. A lot of things that sort of doing subconsciously maybe that I can work on, and also just paying attention to what's going on around me. There was a lot of things that were very similar between all of the matches, and I think that's mainly because of the sort of limited amount that we know, and that'll probably get better when we sort of learn more. We're going to go back into training to sort of work more on our work in the ring, which will be good. If you haven't checked out the match, it's on the channel. Very easy to get. Full matches up there, including the entrances, including the celebration at the end. And yeah, it's been really good. So we're going to get back into training now. This episode will have sort of a few highlights that I'll take from the match, and also a lot of the highlights from before that we had. Specifically, one of the spots that I've got a lot of video on that I'll share now is the progression of the suplex stunner that was done in the match. It's where I lifted my opponent Daniel up into a suplex, and he countered that into a stunner in the middle of the move. To be very honest, I was really disappointed with how that played out in the match itself, because every time we've gone through it before, every time we prepared for it, it had been a really big spot. I feel like the reaction that we got we didn't nail it perfectly, which is a bit disappointing, because it's sort of the one time you do want to get it right is the time when you're in the ring. So that was a little disappointing, but you can't really do anything about it now. But definitely looking forward, or looking back at least and reviewing it. I definitely wish that was something we'd gotten better. And look, you never know what the crowd is going to react to, but that could have been better. But yeah, so I'll end this episode here. This is going to be a week with 2 episodes, because I will do a regular training update. And that's it for this episode. I'll put in a few highlights from the matches, I don't have access to any of the other matches. I will try and get some footage from the league itself, at least sort of try and get the endings to the matches, some of the finishes, and the finishing moves, just so we can see sort of how people sort of ended their fights. And that's really it. So later this week there'll be another episode, and then we're back to our regular schedule now of once a week. Take care.